So the Defiant had one more shot to make it into the May melee against the Florida Mayhem. Didn't go so well, but let's take a look at one of the team fights to see what could have been done better. This overtime fight lasted well over a minute with a lot happening, so let's break this down play by play from the original broadcast.
They could have used on Sado. He was in so much trouble there, Brent. He got stunned. He was inside his own bubble. You could have nanoed him to give us that extra health, but Florida Mayhem now on the final fight as OT has arrived.
Florida has controlled the point, and then the regroup Defiant needed to trigger overtime. Sado taps in and out very quickly at 97%, which is enough to trigger overtime. Fun fact, as long as somebody touches the point at around 96.5%, overtime will happen. You don't need to touch it at the absolute last second, contrary to belief.
On the final fight as OT has arrived.
I mean, they're going to get the overtime going. Nice has used his recall. They're just kind of just battering them at the choke point here.
Sado actually got anti-nated pretty early and has to wait, and Neist is looking for an off angle to strike as soon as Sado is ready to go. Florida, however, engages with Gangnam Jin nanoing OG along with Yaki going aggressive and looking to duplicate out to save his HP.
This recall, they're just kind of just battering them at the choke point here. Florida have a vice grip on it. The stick, it's going to connect, but the shield, the bash, the flash.
During OG's Winston nano engagement, Hisu is actually lurking on the side and looking for a flank, and Neist, as we mentioned earlier, is doing the same, looking for that little flanking angle. If one team goes for an engagement, it is your job to react to it, and Neist gunned for the Florida backline only to be met with a great reactive shield bash by Slime into headshot by BQB.
A vice grip on it. The stick, it's going to connect, but the shield, the bash, the flash. Oh my goodness, Neist is taken out. And Yaki with the duplicate on. The overtime's still going to keep going. Nice little hop there from Michelle.
As the nano times out on OG, Toronto kites back to stay alive, and Lastro gets a great sleep on the duplicated Zarya to buy some time. Michelle, realizing he needs to touch, goes for a quick rocket jump to quickly re-trigger overtime. I don't think you guys realized how close this actually was. But he does keep the point alive, and Hisu earlier, who was lurking on the side, shows up now and gets BQB, but gets traded back by Gangnam Jin's nade.
Little hop there from Michelle, maybe turnable here. Sado playing within his bubble, but the grab comes up. They need to try and punish some of these players. Yaki, I believe that maybe his duplicate grab. It's going to fade away here, and the rally engage comes in from Toronto now. They've had a second chance at things, but Sado, OG's going to be coming back in now with a primal rage.
Gargoyle goes for a grab on Michelle, but a well-timed bubble and Ansun J's rally armor started stacking up. Ansun J is a little careful not to get sucked in too early to the grab, but just in range to give some armor to Michelle. Yaki on the Echo lost the Zarya duplicate and flew back up to safety, chilling in the top, and Lastro decided now it was time to re-engage with Nano Zarya at high energy. Michelle goes in with Sado, trying to kill OG, but OG builds Primal just in time, and Michelle is now still looking for a good grab target, and he settles for Slime on the Brig. The Defiant successfully bursts down the Brig, but as this is happening, Yaki on the Echo goes and assassinates Lastro, and OG, after he primaled earlier, he went for Ansun J on the Brig after he saw the bash, so he knows he can't get stunned and eventually booped him off the map.
Just trying to play it off of it. Michelle now with the grab, the solo grab onto Slime. It's enough to lock up one of the players, but is it enough to close out the fight, Jack?
I don't know. Ansun J ends up going down. He actually gets thrown down the pit. BQB comes back as well. Started to kill Yaki. The fight is still going, Brent. BQB, if he manages to get this Deadeye, he can clear everybody off the point, and that overtime is going to tick down like nobody's business.
Yeah, 98%. He's just begging for it now. The overtime's going. So much damage being applied to them. He's got the Deadeye. He's going to be challenging it. And the bubble will keep Hisu alive for just a moment. Nice will do his best, but eventually taken out across the map. And as the stall comes through, it is looking inevitable right now. The Florida Mayhem going to be taking map number 1 in our first game of the knockouts here against the Toronto Defiant.
Kills are being traded back and forth. Michelle is now trying to clean up Yaki at the end too, near the end of the nano, and rotated to Florida's side of the map, but forgot that BQB died earlier to Hisu, and he comes back just in time to finish off Michelle. Although this is a team game, there were like 4 individual fights that were happening on separate sides of the map, which is probably why this overtime lasted well over a minute, where if either team just had better focus fire, it probably would have ended a lot earlier. Sato goes for Yaki. He's really low, gets a primal into a boop to finish him off, which is great, but too many of the Florida Mayhem members have respawned and OG's just stuck dancing and touching overtime to re-trigger it without really doing anything at this point. By sheer numbers advantage, Florida jumps in with OG with the bubble and he kills Sato, finishes off Hisu, and that's that for the Toronto Defiant. We'll be back for the June Joust better than ever. And that's it for this episode. Subscribe to the channel and click the card to watch other episodes of this series.